So later tonight, we'll talk about what Solidarity Warriors as a group, including all of you, has accomplished this year and what we plan to do next year. But first, let's dive into how to stage visibility events. So some examples are banner drops, which effectively create awareness during events, festivals, and locations with high traffic rates. Car parades are a great way to express solidarity and foster camaraderie in the community. Mobile and stationary billboards can reach a broad audience on the move through high traffic areas. While this approach can be more expensive, hey, all right. So this approach can be more expensive, but Solidarity Warriors use digital billboards to spread the word about No Kings too. And we had at the first No Kings, we had 12,000 people in Denver. At the second one, we had 46 to 50,000 people. And that was the main way that we communicated. We only had 5,000 RSVPs online. So we really think that those billboards made a big difference, and we only spent about $600. So depending on your goals, it might not always. Sorry, guys, one second. Hold on. All right. I had to get the cat unstuck from the curtain that she was stuck in so that the dog would stop barking at her. All right. So we were talking about billboards. They definitely made a big difference for No Kings too. Political theater events are most effective when you hold them in an area with a large flow of people. Placing them strategically close to a person of influence enhances their impact. However, they may be ineffective when the intended message is unclear and irrelevant to the current political issues. So let's talk about political theater first. Political theater typically consists of staged events or performances, often of a dramatic or comedic nature, that convey a message or a statement. And political theater can be a powerful way to raise awareness, spark conversations, and also to influence public opinion. So there are different types of performances. It can look different depending on your audience and the type of performance that you choose. They don't necessarily have to be a Hamlet soliloquy. For example, suppose you're a member of Congress lives a lavish life while opposing an increase to the minimum wage. In that case, you might consider dressing up as Marie Antoinette. Organize the retirement party if you have elected officials refusing to step down despite years of promising. And these performances allow organizers and activists to flex their creative muscles and think outside the box, whether that's through imaginative costumes, dramatic monologues, cardboard cutouts, or even puppets. The more attention grabbing, the better. So you want to clearly define the message you want to convey through the event. If it fits, develop a compelling script that conveys your message. Choose your target audience, whether it's the general public or policymakers, and remember that the performance should resonate with that particular audience. As far as when and where, you want to choose a strategic location that aligns with your message and maximizes visibility. Public squares or government buildings are usually optimal locations. That's why we're doing January 6th on the west steps of the Capitol in Denver. And be aware of legal restrictions, permits, and regulations related to public performances. They can vary based on the location that you choose. Consider the timing of your performance. These events usually coincide with significant events like January 6th, or others such as political decisions or votes made by members of Congress. Choose your cast and crew. You'll want to recruit and organize a cast of members, activists, and professional performers who can deliver the message. We have a wonderful cast of volunteers so far. You also want to plan the use of props, costumes, and visuals to enhance the impact of the event and make it even more memorable. To get ready for your event, make sure that all logistical aspects, including sound systems, permits, security, and transportation, are in place well ahead of time to make things run more smoothly. Make sure you prioritize the safety of participants and spectators during the event and have a backup plan for unexpected situations. Then, one of the most important things is to invite the public. Promote your event through social media, emails, and nearby activist groups to increase attendance and impact. If you have an event coming up, please email the flyer to me so that I can share it with our email list. There's my email in the chat. And next, we're going to talk about car parades. Car parades are events where vehicles, often decorated with signs or banners related to a cause, drive together on a designated route. It's a great way to promote your message and raise awareness within a community. When you're planning a car parade, there are a few essential things to consider, such as route planning. You want to choose a route that passes through popular areas or areas of significance. Make sure that it's safe and convenient for participants. And check whether you need permits or local authorities' permission to hold a car parade. Decorations, make sure the message of the protest is clear and encourage participants to decorate their vehicles with signs, banners, balloons, or other creative visuals that align with your message. Safety on the road. Emphasize safety by instructing participants to drive responsibly and maintain safe distances between vehicles. Have a plan for handling emergencies during the parade and ensure everyone has contact information for the event organizers. For communication, you need to identify how participants will be communicating throughout the parade. You don't want to encourage texting while driving, so a radio system between the organizers is a good idea. Publicity, your group should promote the car parade through social media, local news, and word of mouth. If you'd like me to send a press release that you've written to our media database, just send me a copy to that email address as well. You want to create opportunities for participants to engage with your audience, like honking or playing music. Remember to include websites or contact information on your signs so that everyone who catches sight of the car can easily participate. And then after the event, send follow-up emails or actions to maintain the momentum and drive your community to act. Next, I want to dive into billboards a little bit. So billboards are not only the big stationary ones that you see on the side of the highway, but they could also be mounted on cars, posted on large structures, or they can be digital billboards. You may have seen those where they change the message every few seconds. But they can effectively display and promote messages and reach a really broad and diverse audience. Static billboards, they usually have a lower cost associated with production, maintenance, and fees. Digital billboards, they use electronic screens to display multiple messages, like we were talking about. But due to their digital nature, they provide more flexibility, allowing you to adapt your message to changing circumstances. So if your something about your event changes, you can upload a new image and change your billboard without having to go through the cost of having a new static billboard put up. Like I was saying earlier, it's what we used for No Kings too. We used a company called Blip Billboards, and I'll put their link in the chat. It's pretty easy to set up. You choose your billboard locations, set a daily budget, and upload an image. You do want to make sure that it's a high quality image that's not too busy, like it doesn't have too much going on so that people will see the clear message. And mobile billboards are usually mounted on vehicles. Sometimes you see those trucks driving around with the really thin, it's basically just the only purpose is to have a billboard on it. So unlike static billboards or digital displays in fixed locations, mobile billboards have a limited time window where the audience can view the message in a given area. They do have the advantage of being highly visible as they move through various locations, reaching different types of audiences. And when you are looking to invest in billboards, definitely consider your audience and location. For No Kings 2, we put up billboards, two along I-70, kind of one is in Wheat Ridge, and then the other one I think was in near Arvada, if I'm remembering right. And then we also put up one on I-70 near Commerce City. And then the last one was on I-25, I think kind of near Washington. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the exact location. But you definitely want to craft a concise and impactful message that's easily readable from a distance. And decide on the duration of your campaign. Consider how long the billboards will stay up. With billboards, we decided, I think we decided to put them up as soon as we had the design ready, which was probably about 2 weeks before No Kings 2, I think. And we set our daily budget so that it would match up with what we wanted to spend in those 2 weeks. Excuse me, my nose is all stuffy. I'll talk a little bit about banner drops tonight, but I'm going to leave the bulk of it for the experts, the Colorado Bridge Trolls, and Lori, who will be here to speak next week. And we use banner drops to publicly display a banner or a large sign with a message, aiming to raise awareness and attract attention to it. We usually put these in places like overpasses, buildings, or public events. We have a big banner that says resist on it with our Solidarity Warriors red fist, and we have that carried at the front of a lot of the marches. When you're planning a banner drop, there some things to consider are the time and place. Choose a high traffic or high visibility location to ensure your message reaches a broad audience. So when you're talking about overpass protests, it depends on the day of the week, not just the time of day. So especially, I know from living in the mountains that on I-70, traffic is really heavy going up to the mountains on Friday and back down on Sunday because everyone likes to spend their weekend up here. Again, you also want to have a clear and concise message for a banner drop, so that it's not too wordy. Especially on overpass protests, we try to keep the messages pretty simple so that people aren't doing a whole lot of reading, and risking taking their eyes off the road for too long. When you do your design, be creative. Make sure the banner is eye-catching and visually appealing by using bright colors and imagery that represents your message. You can also make letters and spell things out by uh, either tying the letters to the overpass, like chain link, and Lori can tell you more about that. And you can either make your banner at home or you can order one online. We have a pretty good vendor that we order banners through. So if you want to order one, send me the artwork and then I can help you do that. You also want to prioritize safely, like we were talking about. And then make sure that everyone is on your team is well prepared to execute the banner drop smoothly and efficiently. For publicity, use social media, local news, and word of mouth to promote it. And remember to share live updates and engage with your audience. When we did a release the Epstein Files overpass protest, I actually went and found a safe place to pull over on the side of the highway so that I could take photos of it from that perspective. So that was really cool. You also want to use social media, of course. And then when you clean up, make sure that you remove the banner after the event. I don't quote me on this, but I believe the law in Denver is that you can do banner drops from overpasses, but you can't permanently attach anything without a permit. So as long as you remove it when your event is done, you should be good to go. So here is the visibility event toolkit. And that's where all of the information that we just went over came from. Give me 2 more seconds here, and then we'll get into what happened this year and what's going to happen next year. All right, so let's dive into some of the things that this group has accomplished in 2025 and a few of our goals for 2026. And then after that, I'll open it up to discussion about what you'd like to see Solidarity Warriors work on next year. This has been an incredible year. I never thought that we would accomplish even 10% of what we did this year, or that we'd have nearly 100 people consistently with us on for these meetings every week, volunteering for and attending events, starting your own groups, and organizing your own protests and actions. I'm so proud of Solidarity Warriors, and I'm more hopeful for the future because we're here. I started Solidarity Warriors right after the 2024 election. And this year we've hosted these after we march, we organize Zoom calls 50 out of 53 Wednesdays. The only ones we missed were the 1 million rising trainings that Indivisible did because we wanted everyone to be able to attend those. But we've used these meetings to strengthen our members' understanding of topics such as how to protest safely, start your own activist group, organize a protest, and how to develop your story of self to win over your MAGA uncle and recruit more people to the movement. And we've had more guest speakers than we can count. Starting in April, we worked with a coalition to organize 4 major protests on national protest days. Those were Hands Off, the first No Kings, Good Trouble, and No Kings 2. And I'll tell you, it's no mean feat to work as part of a coalition of groups with vastly different views from very far left to more centrist. We took on the role of lead organizers for No Kings 2, and part of our job was to make sure there was always civil discourse and that everyone felt respected, their opinions were heard, and their contributions were appreciated, which was very difficult sometimes. Sometimes there's a battle of strong wills in groups like that, or different groups having different goals. But the one thing we knew we could always come back to was our shared goal to end fascism, authoritarianism, and white Christian nationalism and remove Trump from office. We also helped organize many smaller protests, including a second hands off, stop the deportation machine at the immigration courthouse in Denver, and a vigil at the Geo ICE detention facility in Aurora. We had an awesome time hanging out with all of you at the 3 social events that we organized. The Resist Cookie Social, which had the tagline, "You can't resist these cookies," the Summer Rebel Grill Barbecue, and our Slay the System Holiday Bash, where we sang rewritten Christmas carols like "It's beginning to look a lot like Russia." And if you've ever donated to Solidarity Warriors, you've helped us donate over $4,000 to organizations that work with immigrants, donate directly to victims of ICE abductions and their families, the LGBTQIA2S plus community, Native Americans, the ACLU, and the Food Bank of the Rockies. We partnered with Colorado Immigrant Partnership Teams by building a website for them and sending over 4,000 whistles so far. You can order free ICE warning whistles and download the documents for the whistle kits using these links that I'll put in the chat. One of these is a foldable zine, and the other is a QR code sheet with immigration resources that you cut into quarters and slip one inside the zine. And then you could just tape the whistle to it. We also partnered with Rise and Represent. That's Tyler Crazy Bear's organization. His goal is to bring more Native Americans back into the protest movement. And we also partnered with the Native American Housing Circle to start planning a fundraiser for them next year. Rise and Represent is one of our partners for the January 6th mock trial and concert at the Capitol. Some of our goals for 2026 and other projects that we're going to be working on next year are creating more connections with other groups and fostering the connections we have. We're part of a budding group of grassroots organization leaders who plan to work together to bring more cohesion to the resistance movement. I've mentioned before that when I went to a protest against police brutality in 2012 and saw signs like "No blood for oil" and "Keep abortion legal," I thought progressive groups would never be able to focus and get behind a single message. But this year we've started to see this happen with No Kings, while also giving people the space to say why we shouldn't have kings and to express their concerns about their issues that they care deeply about. I think having an overarching common goal and not trying to push out the other issues that people are passionate about is the way we move forward as one movement against fascism. We want to start planning nonviolent direct actions, also sometimes known as civil disobedience. We have some ideas in the works, but we need to have them more fleshed out before we share those. The big midterms are coming up, thank God. But we want to train people to canvas and phone bank. We won't be running the canvases or phone banks ourselves because other organizations have much more experience in that. But I was a canvasser earlier lifetime ago. And I was able to develop some skills that I would love to share with all of you. But we'll give you links to other canvases, phone banks, and text banks so that you can find the ones that fit what you want to work on and your particular skill set. I'm also working on a ballot initiative with one of our members, Sherry. It's based on a Montana ballot initiative that will help counter some of the negative effects of the Citizens United Supreme Court decision that gave corporations the right to free speech and allowed them to flood money to candidates who will serve the corporations and not the people. So later this year, we'll need people to gather signatures so that we can get it on the 2026 ballot. I see your question, Marilee. I will definitely address that here in just a moment. A couple other things that we want to do. We also want to recruit more leaders. That means you. We're looking for additional co-hosts for Zoom, media outreach leads, someone to work on making connections with new groups, fundraising, and elected official outreach. We also want to take a leadership role in more of the large protests this year like we did with No Kings 2, and that we means that we need people to take on leadership roles for events such as logistics, speaker committee, tabling, march planning, day of volunteer coordinator, and a lead safety marshal. On top of that, we have tons of non-leadership volunteer roles to fill as well. So here's the form where you can sign up for any or all of them. So I do want to open it up to our last discussion of the year. What would you like to see Solidarity Warriors work on next year, or what would you like to toast to on the last day of 2025? I'd like to toast to another incredible year with Solidarity Warriors and with all of you. A lot of shitty things have happened this year, and they're going to continue happening next year. But I'll be right here and in the streets fighting fascism alongside each and every one of you. So go ahead and raise your hand to make a toast or a suggestion for 2026. You can also put them in the chat now and I'll read them off. So give me 1 second. I want to read this question here. Marilee said, first timer here. I'm old and can't run or start or run any protests, but I can show up to local events and participate in meetings. I'm not sure if this is the group is where I should be. Suggestions. I've been looking for a group in my area, but I haven't found anything. Is there someone that can help me find a group? You're north of Ogden in Utah. All right, this is definitely the group for you. So you don't have to attend protests or organize protests or do anything at all in person. You can show up for local events, which we will always let you know about. I'm going to send you a follow-up email tomorrow with a bunch of upcoming events and other information in it, as well as all the links from tonight. But the reason I started this group on Zoom is because I live 45 minutes from the nearest average size city. So I didn't think that I would find anyone, a group in my area, or there weren't any. And I didn't want to drive 45 minutes to go to a group in Denver. So we do all sorts of things here. We learn about different topics related to activism. We also have guest speakers on a variety of topics from Native American guest speakers who gave us the true history of Thanksgiving, to speakers on immigrant rights, and all sorts of other things. So we love having you here, and I hope that you will stick around. All right. Who's got their hand up? Passion, go ahead. You're on mute if you're speaking, Passion.
Or oh, it got froze up, of course.
I couldn't hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
yes. I think,
All right, I'm sorry. I got in a fight with this dude, and I basically was just saying like there was a Zoom call about war and what war should be, and I said that war was the process between healing and hurting, or like good versus evil. It's not war versus peace because there's an indigenous warrior culture, and there's like war is the process, it's not the enemy, which is why I joined Solidarity Warriors. And so, in that point, I just wanted to say, like, reinforcing that particular part is something that I'm passionate about, but under indigenous leadership and your leadership, obviously, because you're the person who started Solidarity Warriors. Sorry.
no, it's awesome. I love having you here. And yeah, the name kind of came out of social justice warrior, which the right turned against us. So I wanted to take it back. I also have an organizing background with labor unions, and so that's where the solidarity part came in. It was actually my personal account name on Blue Sky, and when we were deciding to name what to name the group earlier this year, way back in January, I think, I had just mentioned the name of my Blue Sky account, and someone said, "Well, we like your name," and so I handed it over to the group. But I love that we are now partnering closely with the Native American community, and can bring more of their warrior spirit to this as well. We are definitely here to fight. We're just going to do it in a nonviolent way. Would anyone else like to make a toast or say anything they'd like Solidarity Warriors to work on next year? Emily, go ahead.
Well, my mother used to say that there was a line in everybody's life that we're challenged to cross every day. And behind that line is safe and comfortable and easy. And across that line is helping other people, speaking truth to power, fighting oppression, and standing up against injustice. And it's difficult and it's kind of frightening to cross that line at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And everything you do in your life that has meaning and gives your life purpose is done on the other side of that line. So it's up to you.
I love that. Thank you. Lindy?
Two things. One, I want to propose a toast, and it would be to you, Tiffany, for your leadership over this year plus time. It's been extraordinary, and it's really easy to be able to get on board with Solidarity Warriors with you here for me, and I know for a lot of other people. What I think we're going to have to look at over the 2026 year clearly is this. What our involvement will be as a group and as individuals in this upcoming midterm election, and that working up to the 2028 election. So we got a lot going on, and somehow we have to fit that in. It's in our own lives and in our group here, Solidarity Warriors. So I want to make sure that's on the list.
Yeah, definitely. So, we do want to work on the midterms, in whatever fashion that turns out to be, because there are things that other groups are better at, like canvassing and phone banking. But there are things that we can do as well. We decided we're not going to endorse candidates. But as you've seen, we've had a few guest speakers in the group that we felt their values aligned more closely with ours. We have decided that if we have future candidates speak in the meetings, that they need to be speaking about a topic, and telling us something that they're knowledgeable about, something that they can share with us beyond just their platform. Jenny, go ahead.
So I just want to, I don't know, make a comment, I think. And it has to do with how quickly and unbelievably our country's kind of the dream that we've had of what our country is has been shattered. And I think also that what I see this group doing and what I'm so grateful for this group for doing is bringing people together in ways that we haven't before, I think, and we're organizing in ways that we haven't before, I think. And the general population, I think, is much more politically aware than we've been in years. Like, I think we understand now what's going on in different states that we didn't understand before. So I think there's a lot of good that has come out of a lot of bad. And I guess I want to recognize that and also say how grateful I am for this group because it's such a helpless feeling this past year's made us feel so powerless. And this group gives us a way to participate that feels constructive and positive, and the energy's great. And I'm just really grateful for it and for you. So thank you.
Thanks. I love the positive energy that we all have. And by the way, you guys just heard from two of our co-leaders, Jenny and Lindy. They've both been instrumental in a lot of things this year. So I think I'm going to introduce all of our co-leaders in a meeting where we can all be here. But just wanted to thank you both for your contributions as well. But yes, positivity is a huge thing and action. So we've always been an action-oriented group. I used to include a bit at the beginning of the meeting, basically saying we're not here to bitch and fetch. We're not here to commiserate or complain about the latest executive order. We're here to do something. And so that's always been our goal and what we want everyone to take away from this. Aaron?
Yeah, hey guys, this is Aaron in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I saw you on Mobilize, I think, and I just love what you're doing. I'm part of this thing called the Nonviolent Medicaid Army. It's connected with Put People First Pennsylvania and the Poor People's Campaign, and they're all about nonviolent direct action. And I think what you guys are doing is great because I've led two No Kings protests. We had 3,000 at the first, 1,500 at the second one, and it's so hard to get people to go from that to direct act, and people think that that's direct action, and in a way it is, but it's not the end all be all. So I really appreciate what you're doing, Tiffany. Keep it up.
Thank you, Aaron. I would love to connect with you offline too. So I just dropped my email in the chat if you want to shoot
Yeah,
me an
I
email.
yeah, I took a picture of it. I will.
Who else would like to say a few words before the end of our last meeting of the year? All right, well, then I think it's time to watch a ball drop from past year. So give me a second to cue that up. All right. Okay, here we go. Everyone come off mute and count down with me. 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Three,
2,
two,
1.
one.
Happy
All
New
right.
Year!
Happy New Year!
Yay!
Happy New
Yay.
Year, wherever that is.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
New
New
May
Year.
it be better
We're
than
going to
the
make it a
last.
better year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy
Another year.
2026.
Happy 2026.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
You're
Tiffany.
welcome. Everyone have a wonderful evening.
You
You
too. Take
too.
care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers.
You.
Happy
Cheers
New
to
Year.
you and you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.